Okay, in this video we're going to talk about proportional and non-proportional relationships, so go ahead and pause and write your stuff down and we'll get started. Okay, so the biggest thing to remember here is to remember the direct variation equation. So proportional relationships are direct variation equations, so they pass through the origin. Okay, that's the biggest thing to remember here, is that they pass through the origin. Remember, that is 0, 0. Okay, now non-proportional relationships are any linear function that cannot be expressed as a direct variation formula. Okay, so remember that. Now, they're still linear, but they're just not proportional. Okay, so the 3 points below that, all proportional relationships are linear. We just got done saying that. So remember that. And then all linear relationships that go through the origin are proportional. And then linear relationships that do not go through the origin are never proportional, but they're still linear. Okay? So I don't want that to get confusing for you. Now, the first example, we're going to write an equation in function notation. Now remember, function notation is f of x. Okay? Same thing as y equals. Now, what you do when you're given a graph is you pull the points off the graph. So this point right here is -1, -2, so -1, -2, and then this point right here is 0, 0, and then this point right here is 1, 2, and then this point right here is 2, 4. Okay, so once you have pulled the points off the graph, then what you want to do is you want to find the pattern that's going on. All right, so from here to here, we are adding 2. From here to here, we are adding 2. And from here to here, we are adding 2. Okay, so hopefully from the previous section, you know that so far for our equation, we have f of x equals 2x. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to find the 0th term. Okay, so that is right here. When x is 0, what is y? Y is also 0. So that is this. So the short way to write it, you can write the plus 0 on the end if you want, but your equation is just f of x equals 2x. Okay, that's all you have to do. Now, because this line runs through the origin, right here, this relationship is proportional. So P-R-O-P-O-R-T, proportional. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now, let's do another one. So again, you want to make an XY table, and you want to pull the points off the graph. So go ahead and pause and give this one a try. So hopefully, when you pulled your points off the graph, you get -1, -3, 0, -1, 1, 1, and 2, 3. And then you want to go through and you want to find your pattern. And hopefully when you did that, you get a +2 and a +2. Now I realize that both of these examples were +2s. They're not all going to be +2s, but you know, you just find your pattern. And then what you want to do is you want to find the 0th term. So in this particular example, your 0th term is right here. And then notice that this particular graph does not go through the origin. The origin is right there. It doesn't go through the origin. So this function or equation in function notation is f of x, and then you put your pattern, which is 2x, and then the 0th term gets tacked on. Okay, and because this one does not go through the origin, it's automatically non-proportional. P, there's supposed to be a P over there. Okay, so now let's go to a table. The total rain, or here's the total snowfall, okay, for each hour over the course of 4 hours. So your process is still the same, okay? So first you want to find your pattern. So to do that, you just find the rate of change in between your y values, and in this case you are adding 1.65 every time. Okay, 1.65. All right, so after that, you want to find your zeroth term. So the zeroth term, you're going to work backwards, so you're going to subtract 1.65 and you're going to end up at 0. So notice that this particular pattern, if you graph those ordered pairs, is going to end up at 0, 0. So that makes it proportional, and then your function or your equation is f of x equals the pattern, which is 1.65 x, and then you can put the plus 0 or you don't have to. It's up to you. All right? So then this one is proportional. All right, now let's do one more. This is the last one, so go ahead and pause and give this one a try. So hopefully when you found your pattern, you had a plus 50 every time. Okay, so then when you found your zeroth term and you subtract 50, you end up at 0, 0. So that's going to make this proportional. So then all you have to do to write the function is just f of x equals your pattern, which is 50x, and then you can write the plus 0 on the end or not, it doesn't matter, but then because it crosses at the origin, if you plot these ordered pairs, it's proportional. Okay? So the biggest thing to remember here is that if your zeroth term is 0, then it'll cross at the origin, it's proportional. If it crosses anywhere other than the origin, it's non-proportional, even though it's still linear. All right? So that's all I've got for this particular video. Make sure that you bring your questions to class. Here's a copy of my notes so that you can see kind of what's going on, and I will see you tomorrow.